What up, though? What up, y'all? Welcome to Episode 5, Season 2 of What's Up, Cuzzo podcast with your two favorite cousins. We got Melly in the building.
Yo, yo,
What up,
yo,
though?
how y'all feeling? I'm good, man. What's going on? Um, it's Friday, like we always do about this time.
Yes, sir. And we got your boy, Marco, is in the building. Let me add something virtual to it. There we go. All right, I'm in the studio. Anyway, man, we got a lot to talk about, man. And you know what's crazy is that uh I don't think we said this in the last couple of weeks, but things have happened.
Man, I'm telling you, man, and always things will continue to happen every single damn day. I'm telling you.
Yes, sir. And actually, I wanted to say this too, man. Shout out to each and every one of y'all, man, who liked, who commented, subscribed, and man, like I'm still getting messages about the tax thing in California. I guess you guys didn't hear about that. So I'm glad that we could bring awareness, to those type of things, and that's kind of one of the goals what we do. So yeah. So anyway, we got a little bit to talk about, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it. I'm gonna open up with this right here. This is something that we talked about the other day. And let me see. There we go. Let me see what y'all think. Ooh we. Okay, there we go. We got it. And roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay.
Liking other girls' photos
What
is
else?
cheating.
What else is cheating?
Fucking other girls is cheating.
So
DMing
Hold
other
on,
No,
let me go back.
If you have
Oh
CalFresh,
man.
Medi-Cal,
All
or
right.
SSI, you
I
may
don't have none
qualify
of
for the
that.
free iPhone 11.
I'm
Plus,
gonna have to figure
Look,
out.
look, look.
Wait,
Okay,
It
I
can
need you to
lie.
let me see.
comprehend.
Let me go back.
And then they might wait another 3 or 4
All
months.
right,
And that's
just give us
over
a
a
couple
year
seconds.
single. You
I
know what I'm
agree.
saying? And the world is like very strict on you guys and just think you should be lonely forever with just a baby. And I think that this is really gonna help some people. They're in relationships though,
All right, come on, man.
right?
Ask the question.
What do you consider cheating?
Liking photos is cheating.
Oh, look at it. Look at his face. Homie's like, here this shit go again. We done talked about this already.
Mm.
Why are you shaking your head?
I don't think that's cheating.
Why?
I don't think liking a photo is cheating. That's
Why
let's
though?
cheers.
Tell me why
Can we
you don't.
cheers
I'm
to
not. I
that?
don't want to cheers to that. Why?
Because you could be scrolling on your page and accidentally like a picture.
Accidentally double tap, right?
No, you don't have to double tap. If you
Oh.
go like this and it's the like
Okay,
part
so
of
answer.
the
So
and you go
listen.
like,
So this is the
if you go like this,
problem. So
look,
this is the
look,
problem.
look.
Okay,
It
I
can
need you
like-
to
it can hit like.
comprehend
It
what
can
we're
hit like.
talking about.
No, I'm saying, but you could.
If
Look,
you
if you
accidentally
do
like
it, look,
something,
but
what are you
look,
saying?
you're not.
Liking photos is cheating.
You have to
I don't give a
listen to
fuck if it's on
comprehend.
accident.
Look, if I go like this, look, babe, can you look at me?
It's cheating.
Look,
Cheating.
you could hit the like
Cheating.
button by accident.
You can hit the cheating button. Any like that you hit on any bitch page is fucking cheating. The fuck?
Respectfully.
Hold on, man.
Hey, yo, you with her, you with us?
Yeah, what's the
let me
deal,
know.
man?
Let me know, gang.
Liking other girls' photos
What
is
else?
cheating.
What else is cheating?
Fucking other girls is cheating.
So
DMing other girls. DMing other girls. DMing other girls. Babe, let me ask you a question.
Listen to me.
Let me ask you a question.
Can you listen to me? Fucking and liking a picture are in the same category.
I'll stop it right there. Corla Ray said, liking another girl's post is cheating.
Mm-hmm.
What you think, Cuzzo?
I mean, that's from her perspective. I mean, you got to understand that the mentality and where it comes from. This day and age, social media, it's like, yeah, you're looking at other girls on the internet and you're liking their picture. That can be the same thing as if I'm out in public, you saying hi to girls. Girls don't want you to do that. So what you saying hi to her for? I'm just out here being nice. I'm a nice guy. Oh, so you're a nice guy all of the time. Oh, all of a sudden, huh? You
Trust
want,
issues.
yeah, you want to be so nice, huh? So from that standpoint, I get it. You want to have some type of control mechanism in place we call respect, because that gives you a place to feel comfortable and not have to worry about your guy looking at somebody else or your man liking other somebody else's picture online, because that can open the door and lead to some other things, and we understand and know that from that perspective. Now, from the guy's perspective, and what terms of he's terming, like if I'm just scrolling through, yeah, my finger might touch the like button because it's happened before. Like,
It
oh,
happened with me too.
yeah, I don't mean to like that, so I'll go
Right.
back and unlike this shit.
Right. Absolutely.
Give my
Absolutely.
like back. You know what I'm saying?
Take
So I
that.
think, yeah. So I
No
was like,
diddy.
yeah. So it's like I look at it from that perspective, but it's like if I'm scrolling through and I see somebody that's doing something that I like, which is speaking and talking. Now, if she's just posting pics or she's trying on outfits or it's an Instagram model, I can kind of see those lines, can be conflated or crossed, and you don't want, your significant other to be scrolling internet, doing that. And that's understandable. It can be considered disrespectful on the other person's part if that's something that you are engaging in.
Mm-hmm.
So from my perspective is, yeah, on that end, I don't think it's cheating, but if she says it's cheating, then we have to explore that. Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Like if I'm on and I'm, going back and forth, or I like someone's content, I can't like what she said, or you know what I'm saying? You have to clear the air and set the stage so there's not any confusion, because there can be a back and forth of game playing, or gaslighting, as they like to say these days. And
Right.
that could be grounds for some immature things to happen to where you both play the game, go back and forth. And that's just coming through that process of maturing. It's like, yeah, I'm not here to do this or that or the other. This is what I'm here for. So if you know that, then why do you have to worry about that? So I just look at it from that perspective. This is the younger generation right now. We're a little bit ahead of that. So I wouldn't have that issue, because that's not what I'm on social media to do, is to look at girls and like their pictures, because to me that's thirsty. Like, what am I liking your pictures for? And it's just, to me, it's just like a strip club. I'm going to a strip club, which I don't like to do, and I'm giving my money away, which I don't like to do. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm here for. So what you think, Cuzzo? What's your thoughts on that?
Man, actually I'll start from like kind of where you ended off at. We're in a different generation, or different our mentality is different as it relates to social media. I believe that we understand social media, how things work, but we don't live our life, in parallel to social media. Some people, their end all, their be all is social media. Like whatever social media says they do, whatever these guidelines, what social media are, they follow, and, I got into a back and forth, about not posting pictures on social media of my family. And I could understand how it could be looked at a certain way. And I may post something on my story, that expires, but to have something on my videos, I'm sorry, on my reels and things like that that stay there. I think it might be in my mind, I have a trust issue as it relates to people, because I know how people can be. And so I don't, and that's why I don't do it. And I explain that, but the response was, "Oh, you ashamed of me, or you don't want nobody to know you with me," and things like that, which is totally not what it is. I like to keep my relationship and the people that are able to see my children, etc., private. because people will pull up on you. I done seen numerous of times where somebody's going live and somebody pulled up on them and killed them. And not saying that'll happen,
right?
In this case, but we don't know. We don't know how people are. Guess what? They may see my son or my daughters, and they be like, "Oh, I know where that's at. Let me come. Let me go over there." Like I don't even want to entertain that possibly happening. So this is, in my mind, this is what I do to avoid that. And guess what? As far as liking pictures by mistake, I've done that a number of times. It's like, hey man, like it might be some, some stuff that I definitely shouldn't be liking. There's some suspect stuff. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, man, let me get off this stuff. And I think like, oh no, let me go back. They make sure they don't think I like this at all, because I don't want nobody hitting me up.
Right.
And but this generation is different. They take everything on social media to heart. Social media is in their face all day, scrolling. And I'm not gonna say I'm not guilty of that. I'm guilty of scrolling every now and then. I think because I'm scrolling right now myself. But
no, I wasn't scrolling. I was just
messing with you. I'm messing with you. Yeah. But I'm guilty of scrolling every now and then too. But social media is not our life. And you could tell by Brother Man's response that they had a conversation about that before.
Yeah, for sure.
And guess what? I'm gonna be transparent, and there have been some photos that I came across, and I'm like, she looked nice. And guess what I did? Kept it moving. Just like to your example, when I'm in the streets and I see somebody that look nice, I look. But guess what I do? I keep it moving. I don't entertain it. But then if I like somebody's content, I'm gonna like their post. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that, whether it's male or female.
Yeah.
And I think that women have that's kind of why I named this trust issues, because there's some type of issue, in my opinion, that she may have faced in the past, where that liking of the post turned to communications, going down in the DMs, as they say, like stuff happening like that, and where stuff is being entertained. And I think by liking a post doesn't mean that, necessarily, but if you've experienced that, I can understand from her standpoint where she might, think it means something else. Just like looking at a woman, like, I have eyes, like, bro, like, you see that she look fine. What I'm saying? You see that she got ass. What I'm saying? You see that she's attractive. And what I'm supposed to do? Like, look down at the ground? You're not no pimp. What I'm saying? I'm not looking down at nobody's shoes. What I'm saying? I know you've seen those pimp movies. What I'm saying? Where they say pimps up hoes down, where they say, you better not look a pimp in his face, look at a pimp shoes. Nah, man, I'm looking, like, because I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Now if I was staring down dudes, then that's the problem.
Yeah.
Then you need to be worried. But if I'm still attracted to women and I see something that's beautiful, then I don't see any problem with that.
Right.
But yeah. You got something else?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's possibly, I'm looking at it as, if I'm just scrolling and you liking, pictures of women, like you say, if you come across some as, oh, and you just keep going, I think maybe she may be talking about that. I don't want to guess for her. It can be girls, period. We never know. But, I'm thinking like, yeah, it's more likely like, oh, okay, yeah, she looks nice and you like the picture. So it's like, yeah, I don't want you to even be remotely thinking that. And it's like, well, I think about it in life. If I walk past, I'm like, oh, she looks nice. It's not like I'm gonna go find a girl on Instagram and hop in her DMs, which I'm pretty sure people do a lot, but that's not what we're trying to do. So yeah.
Yeah, what's funny is that that people, they think when you get with somebody, like, you're not supposed to see anybody else. Like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works at all. Guess what? I'm here with you. I spend my time with you. You know, we engage in other activities together. You know what I'm saying? And and a lot of times now, like when you're with somebody, y'all spend most of your time together, except when you're either at work or at some, you know, doing something where the other person can't go to. Y'all usually go to the store together, y'all go to the movies together, y'all hang out together. So I don't understand like why some people believe that, you know, and not saying that it doesn't happen. I don't want to discredit that people do find time, you know, but that shouldn't be your first mind, your first thought. You know, oh, it's cheating. Like, no, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's time to, yeah. I mean, we could talk about a whole lot of different other things, man. You know, except that.
Yeah, I mean, we could. So it's just like I said, it's one of those things where you need to clarify, and like I said, you know, have the conversation to where the communication is clear, and you set the foundation as to, you know, what you're thinking of and what you're looking at as, and what are you basing that on? You know, where does that come from? Do we have a history? Is this something that you just are part of based on popular culture in terms of social media and what you should do and what you shouldn't do? Are you worried about me doing something I'm not supposed to do? Or it's possibly just have a conversation just to entertain, you know, the people that are
Do you
watching.
have a history?
Or do you have a history?
Yeah, where, yeah.
Someone
Or is it something? Yeah, or yeah, exactly. Go ahead and say it.
Someone hopped in your DM.
Yeah. And you entertaining it.
And you entertaining it. Yeah.
And you see how they are, and you think that's how all of us are.
Yeah. Right. So this could be you projecting, you know, that on me.
100%.
Which often happens because it's a trauma response. You know, a lot of women that go through experience to where they're cheated on or they feel like they were done wrong, they project that insecurity onto the next man. So that's another one too we would have to look at.
That's a fact. Yeah, so on to the next one, man. Hey, actually, before we do that, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share this with somebody if it's entertaining to you. Yeah, like Cuzzo did, you know, like, hey, we shooting our shot. I'm shooting our shot for us right now. You know what I'm saying?
Thumbs up, right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like she said, double tap that thing, like she said.
Absolutely. Even if it's by mistake. Just don't come back and
don't come back. Just live with it. Just live with the mistake.
Let it happen. Just let it stay there. So anyway, on to the next one. So actually this next video, it's been kind of blowing up, and I saw it very early, and I started to listen. I tried to, you know, tried to find the source, and I started to listen to it, and I was like, man, like, I'm trying to avoid saying like, when I saw the video and I saw it, I couldn't really follow through and finish watching it, you know, so I had to go back and like watch it again. I had to watch it again. I had to like force myself to watch it because it was, you know, just a different thought process than I had, and nothing's wrong with having a different thought process, but it was, yeah, it to me it was.
It's like you watching The Exorcism or something, or The Exorcist.
It seemed like we had some what are those things? Skin walkers, you know.
Skin walkers. Wow.
What are y'all talking about right now? Anyway, we're gonna go ahead. Clifton Powell and a couple other gentlemen. I remember their faces, but I can't quite remember where I've seen them at. But they were on a show and they talked about loving the Black woman. And so let's see. And actually I'll play the video that went viral, but there's some other points in this video that I want to look at and see what you think or see what everybody else thinks about it. So let me go and play this.
So it's like, you know, you can only say that for so long. Black women are tired, and, you know, kind of like putting onto them like, hey, like, you didn't do this entirely, because everybody in here, several people have talked about, like, you know, going to counseling. Have that upon yourself. Stop waiting for a woman to tell you what you need to do. Take that upon yourself.
Let me address that real quickly. For me, I didn't know fucking how to
Can I say one more thing? No, I have to say this, because another thing that happens is, too, you live your life for so long, and I'm not meaning no disrespect by this.
It's all right, just say it, bro.
But when you hit your 60s and your 70s, I want to be right.
Okay, but let me.
I want to live my life right. I want someone to take care of me and protect me, and that's what a lot of women have issues with.
Because I'm living it right the fuck now.
As I said,
Listen to
I said 60s and 70s.
Let me say this.
Don't overtalk
I'm
me.
gonna fucking overtalk you
I'm
because
good,
you're talking out
but
of
you're
line,
not
nigga.
gonna disrespect
You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I do.
learned love at 60,
I do.
bro. You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Oh, I do.
Because you can't
I do.
shit.
I
You
do.
don't know it, nigga.
I do.
I'm good. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Fuck out of here.
All right, we're gonna stop it right there. Yeah, they had a spirited debate, and I'll just say this: I was kind of confused about why we're having this topic, why we having this discussion, about this. And Kolo, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. And this particular point, I mean, I really didn't have much to say about this particular part, honestly. There was other parts in the video that I probably would have more to say, but we watched another video where Kurt Franklin's podcast, where they were talking about Kev on stage was talking about his brother passing away, and there was other points in that particular podcast where they were talking about different things, and you had NLE Choppa, which is, recently, I guess, took on a new leaf, and he, it's more reading the Bible more and things like that, and so he was forcing like his opinion on things. But you have one gentleman who's 20, and then you have one gentleman who's 40. You have both say they're believers, right? And I kind of explained it to my boy like this, and I'll go back to Clifton Powell because it's similar situations, sort of. But when you have a new Christian or a new believer, they are like a baby snake. They don't know how to control their venom, right? They don't know how to control, their mouth, their tongue, right? So, Chopper was speaking for a 20-year-old, and he had some losses, yes, but he didn't live a 40-year-old life. He lived a 20-year-old life. And so this is a similar situation. Clifton Powell is 69, he said. Shout out to 69. No, I'm playing. We're not gonna turn it to that type of show. But so Clifton Powell has lived a full life. And he talked a little briefly about his upbringing, but there's some experiences that he had at 59 or 69, I'm sorry, that this other young man hasn't had. And guess what? You could speak from a point of view where this is what I would do. This is how I respond. This is how I would handle things. This is how I would treat this person. But you can't necessarily, I mean, you can say that. However, life experiences changes the way we do things, the way we when we encounter things, it changes the way we function, the way we move. And that's why it's important, like when you have these experiences, of course you want to learn from them, and I think that's what he's saying. He's saying, like, at this point, like, I really didn't know, at 69 years old, that how to love somebody, because through life I wasn't really, I wasn't taught that, and through life I never really learned it. I didn't have somebody in my life that I could really express that to, and somebody that could love me back is what I took from it. And so to speak from a younger man's, philosophy, yeah, you know what? I might know things. I know I'm gonna handle this like this when it comes my way. I know I'm gonna know how to love. But guess what? What if you get beat down multiple times? You don't know how you would handle it. You would like to believe you know how you would handle it, but I don't think you fully know how you would engage in that type of situation if you were encountered. Just like when I play basketball, I would like to think that anybody that I come across, I'm gonna whoop they. Hey, I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna lock them up. I'm gonna score buckets on them. Guess what? There's always somebody out there better than you. You know what I'm saying? So, you never know what that interaction will be like. And so, I mean, I think it's good to have that mindset, but experience is best teacher, as they say. That's that famous saying. So, because I'll let you jump in, and then I'm gonna get the next video ready.
Yeah, man. I would just like to say I would have loved to have been at that table and in that conversation, because every time I look at that clip, I see something different. So in that situation, when you have a round table of men, all different ages, all different walks of life, your first um, thought process should always be to listen more and then talk less. And the way you get something out of the conversation is doing it just that way. And just to kind of see that clip, because I know some things can be, you know, taken up in a vacuum because we see clips. It's like, yeah, okay, but looking at the clip, you have points, you wanted to make a point, you relinquished the floor, and then someone else took the floor. And then as they're on the floor, giving their dissertation, you wanted to come back on the floor and make another point because you didn't want to lose it. But to me, that's disrespectful. You didn't have enough decorum to kind of hold yourself or hold that thought, and just say, hey, when you finish, I want to come back right to that thought. But a lot of times people have something they want to say, they want to get that point across right then and there. And I get you want to get your point across, but when you want to get your point across, that means you are trying to be right. You're not trying to build in the circle, or build through the conversation. You're trying to be right on that point so you can have some type of validation for what you were saying in the beginning, because you missed the point. So anytime someone misses a point, they feel like they lost the battle or they lost the conversation or you lost the discussion. And it's not about that. It's about having, a round table so you can see, through the years, through this man's experience and his eyes, what his realizations are today versus what you're thinking now and what you don't want to get to in terms of where he's at. And who's to say you still won't go through that? Because a lot of times the people that you're dealing with or you having to go through things with also has trauma and has issues that you both have to work through. So it's not all just the man not doing things that he needs to do to bring family and foundation together. Sometimes it's the woman bringing her own baggage and trauma responses from being in the family that she was in previously. Yes, we know that. Yes, we understand that. And yes, we hold space to help her come through and heal from that. But also, that has to be on her own accord. It's not something that a man can do for a woman. A woman has to do for herself. So I get what the other guy was saying, what we need to do to help and hold space and all this other stuff. All that's fine and dandy. What do you think men have been doing, for so long, up until recent history? Yes, there's been a lot of broken homes and things happening. But before that, men were the breadwinners, taking care of everyone in the household, making sure that everybody got what they needed in the house. But having to deal with certain circumstances and, certain economic, fallacies, and challenges, those things come about, those challenges. And yes, there's a decision, there's a choice to be made, but all those things have to be considered because everything comes from a place. We're not talking about the systems, we're talking about the root cause. So what causes something? That's how you take care and eradicate things from your bloodline or from your family. You have to understand that part first. And somebody will say they do, but continue to argue in such a way with a female stylistic type tone and energy that you're trying to figure out, okay, are we having a conversation or are you feeling some type of way because something happened to you or something happened to the women in your family? So now you're feeling you have to speak for them too, to make things right as you move forward. Okay, that's on you. That's what you would love to do. So with watching it, I just kind of said, okay, cool. I get what he was trying to say. He wanted to come back and make that tone. But we also have to realize that in that setting, you want to keep the respect high and the tone in a way that we all can hear one another, and not wound one another because we're trying to emotionally make a point because we're coming from a certain space and time that has a lot of healing that needs to be done, if that makes sense. And I'll yield, Color. You go ahead. I don't want you to talk over me.
I was just about to talk over you.
Right.
Nah, but yeah, you bring up a lot of valid points, and some of your points I didn't really look at it from that standpoint, and that's why it's always good to listen. You know what I'm saying? Because you may receive something that you may not have received if you had to cut somebody off. So I was gonna play. You know what? Maybe let me see what video I have queued up right now because I don't remember which one. I have like quite a few of them because there was a lot of different points that I saw that we could address. But let's see what this one says.
I would like you to go a little bit deeper into what does that even mean? Because for me, the way I'm thinking about it is the way that we've been taught wrong about our power. Yes. That we are supposed to, that we have some sort of privilege in certain, in some situations that we have a little bit more power than somebody else, and that we abuse that power. We use that power to try to control the situation in our favor when we should be listening to other people, when we should be honoring their existence and centering their freedom, their liberation. You know what I'm saying? So what their experience. So what does that mean to y'all? What does that even mean to dismantle patriarchy? What is that? Why is it harmful? And I'm not putting that necessarily on you, but whoever wants to.
Can I go?
What does that mean? Yeah.
So when someone comes to you and they already.
So look, I'll just jump in. So they were talking about dismantling patriarchy. There's a couple of things that I thought about when they had this conversation. I think that there was a system and a plan set up. And I'm just talking about the Black community because that's what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There was something designed to disable the patriarchy in the Black community already.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of disorder in the Black households, in the Black community. And so this conversation that they had was they were discussing how to, love and listen to the Black woman and things like that. Like that's fine and dandy, but signs of the patriarchy being dismantled is you got one person on there who's, they bat both sides. I'm sorry, they bat the other side. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say it like that. And then you have another person on the field who's not a biological male. And then you have a dude who, and maybe I shouldn't have watched this, but you got a dude who played a gay dude on P-Valley with Uncle, whatever the dude name is, Uncle, whoever the gay guy is. One of the guys on there, the one who was talking about him and his kids and things like that, he played that. And then you have a lot of them on there that said they were single, raised in single mom households. So that shows a dismantling of the patriarchy already.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't understand what the hell they were talking about. Like we need to reestablish order and we need to reestablish order in our Black families, in our Black communities, in our Black households. Like Black families thrived when there was mother, father, and children. That's when we had our own. That's when we were highly educated as a family and not just individuals.
Right.
Then came in I just lost my train of thought. Then the government brought in, they said, oh, you know what? They give you a little money if you get rid of the Black man, get him out of the household. Guess what? We'll make sure that you could take care of your household yourself. You don't need a man no more. Guess what? Then we're gonna throw crack into the communities, and we're gonna make sure that guess what? This is Plan B, just in case Plan A doesn't work. And now and not only did we have to like fight back from slavery, we got to a good point in history, and then it was tore down again. And so for you to say dismantle the patriarchy, that I was like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Like we need to reestablish the Black community house, and it starts with the man. And people say this all the time, that the Black woman is the most endangered person ever. No, it's not. Guess what? The Black man is the one who's hunted out in these streets. Like he's the one that people say, oh, I fear for my life for. And guess what? When he goes home and I'm not saying all the Black women, because there's a lot of great ones out there, but when he goes home to the Black woman for peace, he can't have peace in the household. And so where does he turn to? And I'm being funny, but there's a song out there that says, by Escape, where do I run to? You know what I'm saying? Where does he go?
If ain't no running.
Man, he can't find peace out in the streets, like trying to handle his business, trying to work, trying to provide for his family. And he can't find peace at home. So what do you do as a Black man? And it really, like, I really had to sit there and think about it. Like, what are y'all talking about in this discussion? Y'all, this is not, you talked about the root cause, because this is not, the root cause is not disabling the patriarchy. The root cause is giving a man direction, that the ones that don't. The root of this is teaching our sons how to be a man, teaching our daughters how to be a woman, because guess what? It's the women ain't perfect out there either. Y'all said, trust all Black women. I mean, and there's a point in this conversation where this guy said he was wearing his shirt, trust all Black women, and some dude approached him or whatever. But women are scorned. They've been hurt. Yes, I agree. They have some challenges, and they don't know their rightful place either, just like we don't. And so it's just like a sports team, right? If you got, the center playing point guard and he don't got no handles, y'all have a lot of turnovers. You know what I'm saying? If you got Tom Brady trying to be the running back or the wide receiver, and you know what I'm saying, y'all gonna have some problems out there. And so I think that their conversation was, I love to see them get together, but I don't think their conversation it started from the right place, because the root cause is not just love Black women, because as men, we love Black women for the most part by default, because most of the time we love our mother. Most men don't hate Black women. I'll just say that. Most Black men don't hate Black women. I'm not gonna say there's not some, but most Black men don't hate Black women. And for that to be the topic of the conversation, I just thought it was, disingenuous. I'm like, who put this conversation together? Like, all of y'all men decided to talk about this, or like, where are the conversations where we could talk about lifting up the Black man, putting the Black man in the right place, giving the Black man somebody to talk to, putting the Black man in a proper position, in the proper situations, giving him some reinforcement, like honestly, like, as a man, I know for me, it's super simple. I like food. I like somebody to say, you got this, Marco, every now and then. And then I like, what I'm saying? A little loving. Those three things, and I think I'll be good, because I could handle the rest of myself. I've handled more than that for the longest. And I think most men I'm sorry, I'm saying not most men. Yeah, I think it's most men. I'll go out on a limb. I'll say most men don't have that. And that's what we need to have these conversations, is getting there. And then we could bring in a woman, because y'all like to go biblical, and I'll just say it there. I'll start there. God created the man. That's what the Bible says. God created the man first. And he said the man shouldn't be alone. So he took from the man and created a help meet. Somebody to help the man out, in a lot of different ways. And not saying that you don't have an identity, but that's what the woman was created for. Not to be on her own, not to do her own thing, not to be a single mother. He didn't create her for that. He created her to be a helpmeet to the man. And I yield the floor.
Factors or symptoms of the greater issue. So when you have conversations like you have here, talking about the patriarchy, and is it being taken down? It's been down. That's why we have the conversations that we have today, because of that very same reason. It's the he say this, she say this. It's the man against the woman. Is the woman against the man? Is what you bringing to the table? The woman is not being protected. The man's not being respected. High value man, high body count woman. I mean, all these topics and information is coming from a space and a place that has delineated, from a root cause and an issue. And as you said before, it's taking the man out of the household, breaking up the family foundation, and you really have no more high ground to stand on, because you allow this to happen, so I have to depend on this person for this. Or you're depending on this person, so I have nobody to back me up and look over my shoulder, to when things are coming. So it's a lot of finger pointing, and you said this and you didn't do enough of this, or you didn't do this and this wasn't done. It's a lot of blame. It's a blame game. So everybody who hates women or have an issue with men had an issue with their mom. Same thing for women. 9 times out of 10, if they hate men or have an issue with men, they didn't have a good relationship with their dad for whatever reason. And you have to really go back and really explore that for yourself. And a lot of times, most people aren't willing to do that, because that's going to take time to do. It's going to take pain. It's going to be painful for some people. And some people aren't willing to go through that pain to become better for it. They just rather be, 50% of the way okay, as long as I'm able to do this, that, and the other, I'm fine. Well, that may be good for today, but what about 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, when things start to lock in on you, you trying to figure out why you can't move a certain way? It's because you haven't developed this part, or you haven't allowed this part to heal, or you're still allowing these things to enter, your sphere of influence in such a way that you really have no control, because it's in you. It's programming. A lot of it is programming. If you can break free from the programming, then you can really develop your own mindset in terms of how you see things for what it really is. So if you desire to do more and be more, then you have to let go of the programming. And a lot of times people can only function with the programming because that's all they have.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So we can't get mad at the individual. Only thing we can do is try to peel back some layers, and maybe they can see a glimpse of what's possible for them to kind of start, taking some time back and taking a step back to see, well, maybe I can look at it from this perspective, or maybe that might not be the true way to look at it. But in that moment, it's just going to be defend. So that's just what I see with this table. There's a lot of heavy hitters at the table. So you got some more clips?
Heavy hitters. Yeah. What they hitting, huh?
Well, I
Pause.
mean,
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I like conversation. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me see. Let me see if this worth playing. I got 1 or 2 minutes.
An organization called Build Power. So I'm really about power, and it's from the legacy of the Black Power movement. And I don't think you can get any closer to power than the person who birthed it.
Right. Yes.
The Black woman, right?
Yes.
A lot of the time it's Black men that stand in the way of it, right? That get in the way of what we're supposed to be empowering, what we're supposed to be collaborating with. And so when we're thinking about things like, Sister Song is steeped in reproductive justice. And when we talk about reproductive justice, it's the human right for bodily autonomy. Now, here's the thing. I get into all the academic terms and then I get confused. So we're going to get into it for real about what this means to us, what the human right to bodily autonomy, the human right to have kids.
So, I mean, we don't have to talk about that, but they just went down a whole direction. I was confused. Like, it sounds like women should be having these conversations that they started off having. Like I said, I could be off, I could be wrong, but it kind of threw me off. But we can go on to the next one, man. Let me see. What the heck is this? Abstract video. Oh yeah, we'll go right here. Share this tab. You still there, Cuzzo?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, man. Let me know when you go off, because you look frozen on the screen.
No, yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
All right. Oh, in the middle, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We would greatly appreciate that. And let us know what you think, man. I could be totally off, on my perspective. Well, actually, it's my perspective, so I don't think I could be off. That's just what I believe, But let us know what you think inside of the comments, ma'ams and sirs. We appreciate you. So, we talked about taxes, in the state of California, and how they're proposing, or they're working on getting together a tax that would charge drivers on the California roads an additional tax per mile. And I just wanted to I saw another video about New York. They're potentially going to raise property taxes for those in New York. And so this could be something that trickles down to us. We'll see what happens. Let's see what they have to say about it.
Mayor Mamdani's proposed budget has scared a lot of people. Homeowners, co-op and condo owners, building owners, anyone who could see their property tax bills go up if Albany doesn't find extra money to bail the city out of its fiscal crisis. Political reporter Marcia Kramer has the story.
Flushing, Queens is a neighborhood of homeowners who are proud of their leafy streets, tiny plots of land, and the ability to have a touch of suburbia. Many, like Paul Graziano, have lived in the neighborhood for decades, but now they're worried they could be forced out by Mayor Mamdani's threat of a huge property tax hike. He says of his neighbors,
I think they would freak out.
Paul is worried too.
Absolutely impinge everything. I mean, I'm raising a 9-year-old kid, and everybody knows when you're raising kids, it's every dollar counts.
His taxes have already skyrocketed. When he bought this home in the neighborhood he grew up in, the taxes were $2,800. Now they're $11,000. Mamdani tax hike would mean another hike of over $1,000, and he's furious.
This is coming from someone who has never had to fight for anything in his life, who grew up in privilege and wealth. So, of course, raising property taxes on rich people, such as himself, isn't much of a burden.
But it's not just homeowners. Ann Korshak owns 2 small West Side buildings, which each have 10 apartments.
There's no restraint. They just come to us as if we're an ATM machine.
She says the Mamdani tax hike, if it comes to fruition, will affect her tenants too.
It's going to make it much harder for me to replace a boiler, instead I'm going to repair it. Patch a roof instead of replacing a roof. Those are the kinds of decisions you have to make when, 40% of your rent roll is going to the city in property taxes.
The mayor says raising property taxes is not his first choice. He wants more money from Albany, but
this is a budget that reflects the only tools that the city has at its disposal. When we are speaking about property taxes, that is a tool of very last resort.
Okay. Let's see, Mayor of New York. Actually, let me stop sharing it. Let me see. Mayor of New York. Not to. Okay. I don't have it. Oh, that's fine. So anyway, so it looks like Mayor Mondani proposes to raise the property taxes in New York. This is what y'all voted for. This is what y'all voted for. He said he wasn't going to raise the taxes, and this is what y'all voted for. And that's why it's important, in my opinion, that we make sure we have the right people in there that are advocating for us. It's kind of difficult, to hold somebody like this accountable, because if you're a politician, and actually, let me see, I don't know how long he's been a politician, but most politicians, especially those ones who've been in office for 40 years, they never had a real job. You know what I'm saying? We're funding their life. And guess what? They don't care about you having to pay an extra $1,000 for your property taxes. They don't care anything about that. We're going to continue to have these conversations, but we've had them. They don't care that you're struggling. They're going to tell you, guess what? We're going to tax the rich. When the rich leave, when they can't tax the rich, guess what? You gonna pay. And you continue to vote these people in. We continue to vote these people in because I'm guilty. And they sound great, but he hasn't been in office probably a month or two yet. And people already are bad that he's raising their taxes. Like that's a hell of a slap in the face. But these politicians, they're supposed to advocate for you on your behalf, not just tax the hell out of you. But it's gotten far away from that, and a lot of times, like these type of things are happening in these type of cities. And guess what? They're not going to take responsibility for it. They're going to blame somebody else. Los Angeles budget shortfall. Guess who they blame? Donald Trump. Tell me how. Who was in office the last 4 years? But what the heck? This thing just start playing. California budget shortfall. Guess who's gonna end up paying more money? Us. Because it's gonna happen again. Because our great governor of California has mismanaged the money. And you know what? He has a nerve. Man, I saw this dude today. I don't know if you saw the tariff decision that was made by the Supreme Court. And he had his nerve to post on there, "Oh, give everybody back a refund." Man, where's our refund at for the money that you taken from us, that you mismanaged, and that we don't know where it went to? Can we get a refund from that too? Man, trying to deflect. Like y'all don't have, like they don't have anything else to stand on. I wish you guys would open up your eyes and see what they're doing. Stop having, as they call it, Trump derangement syndrome. Guess what? He's not perfect. He's a man just like me and you. He there's some things that I don't agree with that he did, but guess what? Look in front of you. These people that say they're advocating for you, like what have they done to make your life different? What have they done to make your life better? You know, we were talking about the whole black and brown conversation, right? What did Kamala Harris say she was going to do for black men? What did she say she was going to do? If we elected her as the president of the United States, what was she going to do for black men? Tell me. Tell me what she said. Oh, you don't know? I'll tell you what she said. She said that she's going to legalize marijuana. Whoop-de-doo. For somebody that doesn't drink marijuana, I'm sorry, drink, smoke, eat, you know what I'm saying, whatever you do with it, you know, maybe to help this tooth is bothering me, but that doesn't advance my life either way by her legalizing. I don't have a weed business or anything like that. So we need to start looking at these individuals. And so I told you guys that these people were going to start making these things, having these things affect us. Y'all voted him in. One, he don't want to clean up the trash. I saw that trash piled up on the sidewalk. And now it's time to do the budget. And guess what? His first thing, he's gonna raise property taxes. You asked for it. What's that song? You want it? I got it. Dripping like water. You want it? I got it. Dripping like, hey, candy, you got it. You got what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's what you voted for. So, but in all jokes aside, this is something that's going to continue to happen in these cities, that we start allowing these people to act like they run us. They're the spokesperson for us, and they should be speaking what we're speaking, not their own thoughts. If we say, oh, we want to see schools better, they should be advocating to make schools better. If they say we want less taxes, they should be finding ways so that we tax less. And guess what? It may not be a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year fix. It may take time, but they got to have a plan. Not the first thing you get in office. Guess what? To fix the budget, tax. But y'all like it though. I don't like it. I was listening to this dude this morning, and he was giving like his breakdown, like the breakdown of his budget. And the dude is in tech. He makes a lot of money. $290,000 a year. And guess how much taxes he gets taken out? 100 and something thousand in taxes that he works hard for. That's crazy to me. I don't know. Some people might be like, oh, he makes a good amount of money. That's a good amount of money. But yeah, it is. But wouldn't you want to keep a larger majority of that? What are some ways that we could tax people less? What are some ways that we could, fix the budget shortfall? Like that's the mindset that they should have in it. But like, you know what? First thing, tax. I don't know, man. New York and California usually are the first people to start doing things like this. Then you got Chicago too, is in there, and then it rolls out to everybody. So like this mild tax, I don't know. I won't be surprised if you see this in other states. We'll see though. All right, Cuzzo, you.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if you could sue somebody for false advertisement. If someone said, I'm not going to do something, and they end up doing it, That's false advertising. I voted for you because you said you were not going to do this, and then you turn around and did this. That's considered false advertisement. Your campaign you ran on was to say, I'm not going to raise taxes, I'm going to tax the rich, or whatever it was. It wasn't anything about raising taxes for the working class. That's not how you got hired or elected, per se. So it's just interesting to me that, levels of accountability only fall to the people that actually uphold the system. Um, People are considered human capital, chattel property. So anytime you want to get more out of, your human capital, you're going to raise taxes on them, or you're going to raise this just a little bit, because they're not going to do anything other than complain. They're going to do just enough to try to get by because they don't want to have to do things the hard way. Things can become hard slowly, but do things immediately the hard way is, you cut everything off, you shut it off, you shut it down. You want this government out of here. We'll do it ourselves. If you can't do things the way that the people want them to be done. It's supposed to be we the people, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. That seems like it's something totally different going on. And it is right in your face. So whatever they're explaining, I don't know who you're explaining it to. What are you explaining it for? This is not what the people want, and you know that. So what are people engaging in? This is theater. This is something that they're doing to satisfy what? What are you satisfying? You're not satisfying the people. Who are you speaking to? You're speaking to the people that don't want what you have to offer. Nobody's going to say, yeah, we need to raise taxes because you guys stole the money or mismanaged the money. So we're going to go ahead and be accountable and responsible for that. But that's what's going on. You guys were pledged as collateral. So that's why they're going to keep raising taxes. And until people understand and notice that and know what's going on as a normalcy, like as normalcy, not, oh, conspiracy theorists, or not, oh, this is a theory. No, this is what it is. You can research it for yourself. So when they raise taxes, that's just them doing their job because they need to. It's not even about getting the debt under control. I remember a few years back, it was like, oh, well, we're so many. It's not even about budgets anymore because they print money daily now. So it's like you can forget about that. It's not even about that. They're going to continue to devalue your dollar, continue to try to take money out of your hands, take control away from you, make property taxes so high that you are not able to own anything. That's what's happening. What else is there? What's the playbook? Somebody tell me in the comments. If you know it, we can all see. People can say I'm not dumb, but then we act like we don't understand what's happening and what's going on. This is like economic warfare. And your own government is waging it against you. What else could it be? You haven't given any other reasoning that this is happening. You haven't said, oh, well, because we sent all this money over to this country or that country. Oh, because, our economy is stabilized because of tariffs. You can't even blame it on tariffs anymore. You're just doing things haphazardly now because you can. So the people working every day, seeking to understand what's happening, what they're involved in, you're not getting any real answer. All you're getting is, oh, well, we're gonna do this law now. We're gonna enact this new tax, or we got to do this now.
I think people are so numb to it because that's all that we're used to.
I mean, it's not even being numb. It's just like, you know, looking to understand where we're at and where we're going, because now you're in the midst of it. You've heard
Well,
about things happening or going to happen for years, but now you're just kind of like in that transition phase, if that makes sense.
and I think what I'm trying to say is I think that people are numb to it until it's something that smacks them right in the face. Like they don't really pay attention to the conversations or try to have conversations. It's like, oh, property taxes are raising. Now people are upset. You know what I'm saying?
Or you've already been smacked in the face and you're numb already. So you just kind of sitting there like, did I just get slapped in the face?
Did I get slapped again?
Yeah. Like the dude in Rush Hour 2. You're like, which one of y'all kicked me?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, which one of y'all kicked me? You
Yeah.
know?
That's a fact.
Right. So it's
Yeah,
like,
man.
okay, this is happening. Now this is happening. Now this is happening. So it's like, okay, what do I do? Do I continue as normal? People try to ignore it, but you know, you can try to be normal if you want to. But as you know, and as I've been understanding, you better be working on everything you can and kind of try to get rich in the next 3 to 5 years. It's probably speeding up 2 to 4 now.
Yeah. That's
Because they are attempting to make the way of life livable in the middle completely gone. So yeah, I can work 2, 3 jobs and I can live decent. No, that's going to be gone because a lot of those jobs that you were able to put together and stack to kind of make some decent money, those jobs are not going to be available anymore.
Hmm.
And people don't help because then they say, yeah, AI is better. Or yeah, I'd rather take a Waymo because, you know, these people drive crazy.
Hmm. We need to
Well,
talk about Waymo too.
yeah, well, maybe because they tired because they've been driving 12 hours straight. So they just trying to, you know, get you there as safe as possible.
Right.
They not trying to drive crazy. They're trying to stay awake so they can drive you to where you need to go safely. But
Yeah.
anyway, what we got next?
We need to talk about Waymos though, man, at some point because you know, got the Waymos getting trapped in the water. You got Waymos not letting people out the car. You got a Waymo trying to drive to another country. And then I heard that some of the Waymos are actually driven by remotely by other users. So we'll have to address
Yeah,
that.
people in India probably. It's like, yeah, you know,
Oh man.
go on Upwork or Fiverr and find you a Waymo driver so they can
Man, I
drive your
definitely
car.
don't want them driving me, man. They laws is a
Right.
little different. Like they ain't trying to yeah.
Or go on whatever site, you know. Why wouldn't you have somebody in America doing that? Well, because you have to pay Americans more money. They need benefits. You know, I can't just work for you 12 hours a day and not have benefits, you know.
Right. Right. Well,
So it's cheaper labor. We all know that. Overseas has been a thing for a long time.
yeah, I agree. I agree. However, I ain't taking no Waymo anytime soon.
No, I'm
For
never
sure.
taking the Waymo.
Let me see. What just happened? Did I stop sharing? Oh no, I didn't. Okay. This is the last one. We got quite a few things actually, but a lot of good topics, but I know we're not gonna get to all of them. This will be the last one for the day.
All right.
Something near and dear to our hearts. And actually, I'll just read it. Let me not share it. I'll just read it. WNBA players or WNBA PA Vice President Nafisa Collar is optimistic about the collective bargaining agreement negotiations with less than 3 months until the start of the 2026 season. She states, "We are not where we want to be, but I think negotiations are trending in the right direction." And that's what we want. You want movement. You don't want to be in a stalemate. You want there to be hope in the future. And I do have that. I think there has to be a lot of movement in a lot of places in the CBA. But the fact that we are moving, I think, is very hopeful. The Players Association submitted a counter proposal to the WNBA this week that included a concession on revenue sharing, wage of the talks, and why does this keep starting? Hold on, I'm sorry, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I got a ghost in the machine. Like this video just keep randomly showing. This keeps starting. Oh, I know why. Because I pressed this button accidentally on my headphones.
There you go.
The Players Association submitted a counter proposal to the WNBA this week that included a concession on revenue sharing, the wedge issue of the talks, and changes of housing requirements, which have become a late game contention point. The union dropped its proposed share of gross revenue from approximately 31% to 27.5% in year one. The league is proposing revenue sharing based on a net revenue, reportedly alleging hundreds of millions in losses if the deal is done off gross revenue. It sent an update proposal to the union after the sides met in person the first time in 2026, breaking a weeks-long stalemate. The WNBA's proposal addressed facility standards and housing, two issues a source told Yahoo Sports players spoke of in the meeting. So we back at it again. The WNBA, they want to share revenue, a revenue share of 31% initially, and they reduced it to 27.5%. As an athlete and as you know, I never got paid to play, but that was the goal when I was playing, of course, to get as far as I could in the sport. I mean, I would love to get paid, basketball, especially if it's something I love to do. But I understand that there's a business side also. Like it has to make sense to both sides for things to work out. And so if you look at it like this, let's say we had a business together. And so the business, you need, I don't know, let's say it was a restaurant. You need food, you need cooking supplies, you need furniture, you need employees, you need a lot of other things. You got to pay rent, light bill, water bill, gas bill, etc. And we were in business together, and say, for instance, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take all of that on and pay all those bills, rent, light bill, gas bill, pay for the supplies and everything. And then we break the profits. So when we receive profits, we break the profits down the middle. Since I took on all the other things, I'm still going to be at a loss, but you're going to be in a positive because you didn't have to put your money up for anything. And I think that's, in my opinion, I could be off. There could be some underlying factors that I may not know about, but we know for a long time the WNBA they haven't been profitable. They've been subsidized by the NBA for a very, very long time. And they did see some success. And I agree that people are watching the sport a lot more now than they have in the past. But how can you ask for 27% of the profits when you're still in the negative. I mean, you can ask for it. I don't know. It just doesn't sound valid to me. You know what I'm saying? Even if you think about on the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like once you bust down the, the brick and, you know what I'm saying, you sell it on the street, you know what I'm saying? And you say, oh, we're going to go half. Nah, what about all the stuff that I had to do? The supplies, I had to pay to connect, and all those things like that. Like that stuff right there, people you don't consider. So if we're partners, or if you want to be partners, which is what they're trying to do, they're trying to take a large percent of the profit sharing. They're trying to liken themselves to the NBA. You're not the NBA. The NBA went through their challenges, the NBA went through their struggles, the NBA went through their woes. The NBA is getting a lot more deals on television and things like that than you are. So how can you can't compare yourself to them? Like, and this is just my opinion. I think they just need to take, I mean, of course, let it be reasonable, but think from a mindset of, if I have money, how can I share profits with somebody who paid all the costs? And guess what? If they decide to do away with the WNBA, I mean, that means the NBA will be profitable. You know what I'm saying? Like that's less money that the NBA has to see going out the door. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't know if they're thinking about it. I know there's a lot of businessmen, that they make money. I don't know if they handle some of their business themselves, but they obviously are not seeing it from this viewpoint. And again, I could be missing something in these conversations. I could be off.
Yeah. I'll take it from the standpoint of, yes, this is a mutually beneficial situation, but I'll just go back to the same point I was making before. This is human capital. So without the athlete, without the entertainment, this is not a business. And I think they're looking at it from the standpoint of, we're the ones out there putting our body on the line every night. We should have more access to the profit versus the owners, the coaches. It's just the same as, okay, if you have, like you said before, if you had a McDonald's, the owners are the one that make all the money. You're only paying your employees $17 an hour, 20, 22, 24 for managers. And it's like most of that profit doesn't go to the people that's actually working the business, that's actually putting their body, their blood, sweat, and tears out there on the floor. And I could see that from that perspective. Those are the ones that should be able to share in whatever's coming in. It may not be revenue, it may not be profit, or if it's profit, we should be able to have a bigger piece of that pie, because we're the talent.
I got something to say, brother. I'm not gonna cut you off.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at it from that angle and that perspective, in terms of, how it may be looked at. Because I've heard that before. It's like, yeah, we have to go back to back sometimes, and 4 nights in a row, and then we don't even have a team playing. I was just
4 nights in a row.
I would just listen to some of these people, like if it's a playoff game or something like that. I don't remember who said it or who were saying it. Maybe it was 2 nights or something like that. But
okay.
You sometimes have extraneous
circumstances.
Not circumstances, but scheduling in terms of
okay.
How much energy you have to put out there. When you're in a profession that's entertainment. So yes, there's going to be more asked of you, if you are maybe in a certain city, if you're a certain caliber player, if you have a TV deal to where you're supposed to be on TV more, then yeah, you may be having to play games more often than not. So I think
they haven't been.
Yeah, what I'm saying. Yeah, what I'm saying is, yeah, be careful what you ask for, because if you do get what you want, then things are going to be changing. You may have to play more games in the season. They may up y'all games and say, okay, y'all want more money, then y'all got to play more games.
It's going to play 10 games back to back.
Or if y'all want more money, okay, we got to add 2 more expansion teams because now we got to have more competition.
Yeah.
So it's like just looking at it from a business angle, and then when it's an entertainment business, it's always okay. How many people can we get in here? Seats. What's the revenue come in? What's going out versus what's coming in. Yes, we have TV deals. You have advertising deals. There's a lot of different money that's out there, but you just have to be understanding and knowing that when you ask for something, be ready whatever's going to come along with that. So I would just say, looking at it from that perspective, I get it. Looking at it from a business side, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a good investment. But, we'll see what happens, I guess, pretty soon here.
Well, yeah, let me ask you this though, like from that perspective, are both I mean, from the business perspective, I agree with you. They are the talent. I agree. How long does a business go negative until they decide to go a different direction?
It depends on the business model. Like if you have multi-millionaires, if I show a $10 million loss against, whatever other assets I have, then that's money I don't have to claim with the IRS. So it just depends on the model.
Okay.
What's acceptable? I think that'll be a question we could ask, your cousin,
Who's
we
that?
could
Oh,
probably
okay.
bring her on here one day.
Yeah. So look at this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
Barely.
Okay. Let me see. Let me.
A little bit better, yeah.
do.
WNBA has been profitable in any of the 29 years of its existence since 1996. Right.
Wait, hold on. Dang, why can I?
This is a subsidized league, subsidized league. So you can count that. NBA can probably count that loss against, their books. I'm not showing a profit of $100 billion. I'm showing a negative of, whatever.
Man, this thing is tripping. Like I can't. All right. Well, I guess I gotta do that. Okay, yeah. So 29 years they've been unprofitable.
Mm-hmm.
And so we know it's a subsidized league. I think that's part of the problem is that it's being subsidized and there's no profit. And so they're continuing being subsidized. So to continue to pull income from a ship that's already burning, what I'm saying, are already going down, as from a business standpoint, I don't agree with it. What I'm saying? That's just me. Whether you have talent or not, the talent is not talenting. You know what I'm saying? Like, so something needs to change. And guess what? And this is, I'm not saying that they just need to take nothing. What I'm saying is they were offered more money, a substantial amount more than they were already making. And the team, the planes, that's something that y'all need to work out with y'all owners. Like the NBA doesn't fly the NBA players around, the team flies the team around. So y'all trying to come after the WNBA to have these things for y'all, like I don't know, man. I just think it's a process. Even if I started a business, it's not no guarantee my business is gonna be profitable first, second, third year in business. It's gonna be a process where I need to build and create. And I know they've been around for 29 years. I know, like you said, they're the talent. I hear you, cuz
yeah,
but
I mean,
it's steps.
right.
You have to
And
take steps.
they feel
so,
like they've taken those steps, and that's why we're here where we are today.
well, that's they not thinking, they feeling.
I mean, if you have entertainment that people may watch or not want to watch because of the brand, you know, or the talent, it's not really the brand's fault or the talent's fault. It could be either or. We don't know.
Okay, let me ask you a question real quick. I'm sorry. Hold that thought real quick. How many games you watched last year?
None.
Marco, how many games did you watch last year? None. So 100% of us on this call didn't watch a game.
But I didn't watch the NBA last year either. So it's like this depends on what you find entertaining. I don't find the NBA entertaining anymore either.
Man, come on.
So it's not about, because they're women, it's been made to feel that way. But if something is not entertaining, you're not gonna watch it. If it's not exciting, if it doesn't intrigue me, I'm not gonna watch it. If it's
yeah,
doesn't matter. NBA, WNBA,
Cowboys.
Cowboys, if they start losing and I'm not liking how they playing, I'll turn the game off. It's like, I'm not about to watch this.
Okay, at least you're consistent.
Right, absolutely. It don't
Yeah.
matter.
And my whole thing is I don't want to pocket watch. I just want in my, like I said, I'm just giving my opinion.
Right.
In my opinion, as a league, they're not at a point where they can make millions and millions of dollars because they haven't proven their product to be that entertaining. Like more people have been watching it. I agree. And another, I have a problem with that too because the ladies that are bringing more attention to the NBA or WNBA, y'all hating on them. The people that have been there.
Right. Yeah.
That's another story.
Right.
But y'all try to compare yourself to a league that has been around for over 100 years. They have went through their trials and error. I can't say this enough times, and I'm not telling y'all to do this because we live in a different era, and there's other ways you guys can make money. But these dudes was plumbers and milkmen and all kind of other stuff because they weren't getting paid enough. And I'm not telling y'all to do that because y'all could go on social media and make money. Y'all could do a lot of different things. But I just think that we'll see what happens. And like I said, I'm not trying to pocket watch. Get y'all money. If they give it to y'all, then get it. But from my standpoint, the product is not good enough yet. That's just in my opinion. These women, the women that are advocating for them to make money, they don't even watch the damn game. So how you gonna complain? You don't even watch the games. You don't go to the games. You don't support them. You don't watch them on TV or anything.
Right.
And so that's my point. I'm over it.
Well, my last point is, only way this could work is if every team in the league is a nonprofit. That way, you don't have to worry about making money because it's a nonprofit. So why you worry about it? Just pay them their money, and let's keep these nonprofits going. Everybody get write-offs at the end of the year.
There you go. That is Cuzzo's expert opinion.
Right. Yeah, it's a subsidized league. These are nonprofits, so we're not going to count this against you tax-wise. Write it off. Nonprofit.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, thank y'all for coming out, man. Please again, like, comment, subscribe. I'll give my closing remarks now, man. Thank you, Cuzzo, for always bringing your opinion and your expertise to the show. We appreciate that. And man, that is all I have to say. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate you, Cuzzo, always coming on here, man. You were injured. You played through it. You gutted it out, man. I appreciate you for doing that. And appreciate y'all coming in, checking in, commenting, subscribing. We're slowly picking up the pace. So we enjoy having these, relaxed conversations. And, even though we got a lot of things happening in the world right now, it's good that you can come together and have these conversations at a level to where people can get their points across, say what they feel, and possibly learn something from one another, by having these conversations, in the form that everybody could be heard, whether you feel a certain way about it or not, whether you agree or not. We're able to keep it respectful and at a level to where people can, listen more and talk less, receive so they could achieve. That's all I could gotta say. And y'all enjoy your weekend,
Absolutely. Have a good weekend, man. I'm gonna go get me some clove. You know what I'm
Yeah, man.
saying?
Go get that
Sure.
clove, man. Get that baking soda, man. Hopefully that helps you so you won't have to go to the dentist and they tell you got root canal or something.
Man, well, what's crazy is this tooth already has a root canal.
Oh, see, there you go. And sometimes they don't be doing it right. People be having to
Man.
go back. I knew
Yeah.
a couple of people had to go back, but like I said, if you don't want to do that, yeah, best try to do that. See if that helps you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate y'all, man. Like Cuzzo said, enjoy y'all weekend. This is your two favorite cousins. We're signing out. Peace.